Hi everybody and welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn. Thank you so much for tuning in and thank you all of you that have subscribed so far, and I hope some more people will join us and enjoy these videos. So tonight I am doing the Socially Awkward book tag, which was started by Sarah over at Crawford Reads, and if you don't know about Sarah at Crawford Reads, you really need to go check her out because she's pretty awesome. And she created this amazing tag. So this is the perfect tag for me because I maintain that I didn't have an awkward phase. I have a lifelong permanent awkward condition. And it only seems to be getting worse as I get older. And I've just accepted this and moved on. My wife has accepted this and is just aware of the fact that she lives with a klutz, an awkward klutz. So I chose to do this wonderful tag. So there's 8 questions with 8 awkward things that will happen to you if you are an awkward person, and they're all tied into a specific kind of book. So I'm just going to get started. The first one is, when you go to a party and you don't know anyone, this is a favorite standalone novel. Not necessarily your absolute favorite, but just one that you really loved. And for this, I picked The Amazing Adventures of Kavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon? Not a clue, Michael. Terribly sorry that I'm mispronouncing your name, because I really do like your book. It's all about the beginning of the golden age of comic books, which I love comics, and so this was amazing. If you haven't read it, please do. I have another one of his, The Yiddish Policemen's Union, I think is the name of it. It's an alternate history, and I'm really looking forward to finally getting to read that. And I think he has a couple of others that I haven't read as well, and I need to really get on that. But this was really good. So, number 2, when you join a random conversation by laughing when everyone else laughs. This is a book that cracked you up. And there's a lot of books that have cracked me up, but I picked Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens because I've reread this I don't know how many times, and every single time I laugh like a loon, whether I'm in public or not. So, this book is all about the end of the world, the apocalypse is coming. And unfortunately, they've misplaced the Antichrist. He's been given to the wrong family. So there's an angel and a demon who are working on Earth to deal with the situation. And of course, hijinks ensue, it being Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. If you've read Discworld, you know the kind of things that are going on. This is really a fun read, and you should do yourself a favor and go pick it up. Okay, book number 3, when you're not sure whether to give someone a hug or a handshake, a book that you weren't sure how you felt about it. And for this one, I don't have a copy. I picked Perdido Street Station by China Mieville. And let me just first say that I really enjoy the things of China Mieville's that I've read. I've read Kraken and something else. I can't remember which one, but I've read something else of his, and I have Unlondon, which I'm really looking forward to reading. But Perdido Street Station, I could not finish, and I don't DNF things very often. It's got to be a pretty darn good reason for me not to finish a book, and I couldn't because it skeeved me out. I was really freaked out by some of the characters because he does a really brilliant job of painting you a picture, and there are, if I remember correctly, they're insect-headed people, and the insect just, it really skeeved me out, and I could not finish. So I kind of knew how I felt about it. The book was really good, but I couldn't finish it because it skeeved me out, so that's why I picked it for this one. It annoyed me to no end because I really liked China Mieville, and I really wanted to see how that turned out, but it just wasn't happening. Me and the bug people did not get along. So, number 4, when you're walking with confidence before you trip and fall. This happens a lot. This is the book that began well, but you didn't like the ending. This is another one I don't have a copy of. Thankfully, I didn't purchase this. I got this from the library. This one's The Company of the Dead by David Kowalski. Terribly sorry. It's an alternate history about the Titanic, and in theory, I should have absolutely loved this book because I love alternate history. But it was just awful. It's like this thick, and about halfway through, I just gave up caring. You know, and I finished the book. You know, I finished it because I kept hoping it was going to get better. I was like, surely this book has to get better, right? No, it didn't. It was just a terrible, boring, I didn't care what happened to the people ending, and that ticked me off because, like I say, I love alternate history, so I was really excited by this really thick, long, book about alternate history in the Titanic, and it just disappointed so terribly. So sad. Isn't it awful when that happens? Does that often happen to you? I don't know. I don't DNF that often, so, and I did finish this one, but, I mean, does that happen to you a lot? Do you pick up something that you really think you're going to love and you enjoy it, and then all of a sudden it just bleh? I don't know. It's the first time it's happened to me in a really long time, and I'm almost tempted to go and check it out and reread it just to see if I was in a bad place when I read it, but I have this bad feeling that no, it was just the book. Okay. Moving on. Number 5, when you think of 2 words like awesome and rockin', and I do say those words. I'm a child of the 80s. I say these a lot. But you end up saying something like awkin'. I also do this a lot. This is a book you didn't understand. And I'm going to take Sarah's answer here and say 50 Shades of Grey, not because I didn't actually understand it. I fully am capable of understanding the plot and all this. I've only read excerpts, but I don't understand why people like it so much. I'm not talking about the S&M erotica because I'm fine with that. I like Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty books. If you like 50 Shades of Grey and you haven't read Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty trilogy, it's about to be a quartet, maybe you should check those out because I love those. They're beautifully written and the plot is beautiful, the characters are good, and the erotica part is really solid. I don't get why everybody likes 50 Shades of Grey. Not a clue. Somebody needs to explain it to me, honestly, because I don't get it. I just don't get it. Alright, so number 6, when you realize your shirt's inside out. This is a book with a cover you didn't like. And this is, I think Sarah and I have the same edition of this because I think this is the one she showed. And that is Oscar Wilde's A Picture of Dorian Gray. This is the Oxford World Classics edition. This is a hideous, hideous cover. Oxford, I don't know what you were thinking, but it's just terrible. It looks like a ticked off teenager. And it upsets me because I really do love this book, but the cover bothers me a lot. And I think I bought this simply because it has the notes, different things like that. And I like reading those. I mean, I fully understand the book. I don't need the notes, like, you know, Cliff Notes or anything, but I like reading the notes and the, you know, the chronologies and different things like that. But it's a terrible cover. I love this book so much that I do have 2 copies of it, and this is my preferred edition. This is a Penguin, let's see, Penguin Classics Deluxe edition, and it's a paperback, and it's got just these gorgeous illustrations. And it's got this really cool stuff, you know, where they get the flaps, even though it's paperback. And the illustrations continue onto the flaps. And I haven't read this edition yet. I just bought it not that long ago, sometime last year. But it is much preferable. So pretty. The other one is just terrible. Awful. Okay. Number 7, when you say something you shouldn't at a job interview or in class. That's happened. This is a book with a lot of cursing. And let me just say here, I curse like a sailor on shore leave most of the time. Obviously, I don't when I'm in school or I'm at work, you know, something like that, or if I'm in situations which, you know, it's not appropriate. But if I'm at home or if I'm in situations where it doesn't matter, I have a foul, foul mouth. And the point of that is, I don't really notice when a book has a lot of curse words in it. Mainly because it doesn't bother me, so I don't notice it. So the book I picked for this is one I just recently finished earlier this week, The Year of Reading Dangerously, How 50 Great Books and 2 Not So Great Ones Saved My Life by Andy Miller. And this was a really great nonfiction book, all about books and reading, and I'm going to talk more about this in another video because he says a few things in here that I'm really, really love and I want to talk about more at length. Not just here, and this doesn't even really have that much cursing in it. I think he says that, I think there are the F-bombs in there a few times, and that's really the only reason I picked it is because I saw this tag when I was reading this, so I started noticing that there were a few curse words here and there, but I normally just don't notice it. So I'm sure I've read things with lots more foul language than that and just don't even remember. So, and the last one is when you do a goofy dance with your awkward friends. This is a book you loved with an awkward main character. And I don't have a copy of this either, but I picked Fat Angie by E.E. Charlton Trujillo, and I loved this book. It's a young adult book. It was on the Rainbow list, and I don't remember if it got a Stonewall last year, but I know it was on the Rainbow list. And it's an LGBTQ young adult novel. The main character is definitely awkward, but it is amazing. So you really need to go out and read it. It's a really quick read, but it's super awesome. And it was one of my favorite books from last year. So yes, go read it. I actually was just thinking to myself the other day that I need to get a copy of this of my own, because I checked this out of the library, which is why I don't have a copy. And I need to get my own copy so I can reread it and mark it up and things like that. So yeah. And that is all of that tag. So I am not going to tag anybody specific simply because I just did a tag where I tagged like 10 people. But if you want to do this tag, please go ahead and do it. Sarah at Crawford Reads created it, and like I said, everything's going to be linked below so you can check her out and also link her video if you do this. And if you do it, let me know, because I definitely like to see what you say and meet all those other awkward booktubers out there, because I know you guys are out there, and I know you are. So that's all I have. I'm probably going to do another short video that I upload at the same time as this. And I'm going to be doing a lot of tags in the next little bit, just because I've got a bunch I want to do and they're really fun. So I hope nobody minds, and I hope you will enjoy them. And I guess that's it for this video, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. And until I see you again, happy reading. Bye.